Welcome back for episode 266 of the Ross Bolen Podcast, otherwise known as RBP 266, presented by Bolen Media. I'm your host, Ross Bolen, here today with my co-host, Mr. Jared Borislow.
What's cracking, my dude?
How are you, man? How's your day been?
It's been pretty good. I went to work and then I came here.
Your shirt is festive and vibrant.
Thank you.
You just hung 10 twice. What is that, hanging 20?
This is hang loose. Hanging 10's what you do on a surfboard where you stick all 10 of your toes
but isn't that
off the front.
The symbol for it?
Is it? Hey. I thought this is hang loose.
The fuck do I know?
So
you're the one in the Hawaiian.
Yeah. Well, you hang loose while you're hanging 10. That's just a man standing on the front of his surfboard with all his toes over the end going, "Wazza!"
Yeah, he's just hitting it.
Is that a Budweiser thing? Wazza!
That commercial.
Yeah, right?
I'm going to be honest with you. You doing that just now looked entirely too much like, I feel like your face is maybe a human scream mask is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. Like Gene Simmons. Do I have a long tongue?
No, it's not that. It's your face. It's weird.
Thank you.
Not your face, but it's weird that your face so closely resembles maybe a scream mask.
So you just said my face was weird, and then you went, "Hey, your face isn't weird."
It is weird that your face resembles a scream mask as much as it does.
Okay. Well, thank you.
That is weird.
Just get to the things. Just start talking about it.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
On our last episode, the RBP Impact Initiative, it was centered around the shared stories and experiences of our listenership that we affectionately call the RBP Gang. And it was a very serious episode, mostly, about ways that this podcast and this community and listenership has impacted each other and me and the listeners and all of us and Jared.
Hey.
And it was a lot of fun. It was a different kind of fun, though. You know what I'm saying? As you dab. Today, we're going to be making a little shift. Okay, we're going to get back to the silliness a little bit. By the way, I apologize for the 5-day gap in episodes. I'm not trying to leave y'all hanging like that, but I had to get through some personal stuff. By the way, during which, Jared and I got dinner over the weekend, and while we were at dinner, something very strange happened.
I've never heard of this before. It sounds like the kind of game that would be more common until I realized it's not common because it's a terrifying game.
Yeah, we're sitting at our table. All right, it's just me and him. And we're in this restaurant. It's called Geraldine's, I think. And first of all, the general clientele of this restaurant there was a lot. It was good people watching.
Ross and I were some of the ugliest people in this room.
I was just sitting there like, what the fuck is happening in here? Is there cocaine somewhere that I'm not aware of, that everyone else is aware of? What is this?
These people should not have been here.
What is this place? Anyway. We're sitting there, and there's a table of like 6 people to our left, right? And they're probably a 2-foot gap between our table and theirs. They're pretty close together, is the point.
I hope they didn't hear what we were talking about.
The woman closest to us in that table is blonde, and she's probably, I'm going to guess, 40 years old. Very attractive lady, but presumably sitting next to like her husband.
Yeah.
I assume. So didn't pay her much mind, is what I mean by that. Once we'd scoped out the whole fucking scene. For the first 30 minutes of me sitting there was me stoned, just looking around like, what? Each table?
I was trying to talk to Ross, and he just like looking past me, and so I'd like move my head to try to like get in front of him.
This may shock y'all. Jared, very talkative at a dinner.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there, me and Jared are having a conversation. It's mostly Jared talking, and I feel somebody staring at me. Like
that wasn't me.
You get that feeling, yeah. You when you have somebody. So I look, and it's the blonde. And what Jared and I had just been talking about was the guy playing in the live band currently behind Jared's head. Okay, so I was telling Jared like, yeah, I've seen this dude walk by like 15 times tonight. I knew he was going to be in the band, and then he ended up being the lead singer, and I can just tell he's a total scumbag. Like, this dude is total scum. I guarantee he tries anal with somebody in the crowd tonight, somebody in the restaurant. Like, I could just tell. And I was making fun of him. And then I look to my left, and this blonde is fucking staring at me. And I don't mean, like, staring at me, like, passively.
Yeah, it's not like she's zoning out and Ross happens to be in the line of fire.
No, this was like horror movie, as if she had been possessed by something, and it was now attempting to get at me.
Yeah, a demon goes out of her eyes, runs at your face, comes through your ear holes, then you're a demon.
Exactly. Perhaps it was like I've been watching a lot of The Outsider. We're covering it on OCC.
It was El Coco.
It was El Cuco or whatever. It was very confusing. I was scared. So the first time you catch somebody staring at you, you typically break that. If you're not a total psycho with just like way too much confidence, who's totally fine with just continuing the stare contest and then going, "Do you have a fucking problem?" Which is not my style. So what I did was I broke the staring contest. I look away for a split second, and I continue trying to talk to Jared, and Jared has no idea what's going on, of course. And
I'm just talking. The whole time probably I'm still talking.
So then I can still feel her staring at me. So I look back behind me because I'm like, maybe she's staring at something's happening back there, like somebody's being crucified or something based on the way she's looking at me. I don't know. So I look back there, nothing, nobody back there. So then I said, "Oh fuck this, I can't take it." And I'll be honest, I'm a little high. I explained this to Jared later. I was a little high then. Not that I'm not a little high now, but I explained this to Jared later. Back when I drank, fat drunk Ross, he wouldn't have said shit to this woman.
Bill Chungus?
Bill Chungus would have let this shit go on. The awkwardness, he just would have kept drinking and like looked away and gone back to you. And she eventually would have given up. She would have the game wouldn't have been fun. But Stoned Ross, I have like Jared and I were speaking about how like most people, socially, weed is not typically the drug of choice, right? To go to bars and shit.
Yeah.
Because people can't handle being high around a whole bunch of other people. It took me a lot of practice to get to the point that I'm at, which is something that we're going to discuss a little bit later in this show, ironically enough. But for whatever reason, I have like a level of comfort with myself now when I'm high in social settings where I just don't really care. And I was like, "What is it? Can I help you?" I was like, I don't even know if I said anything, but I just was like, I stared at her and I was like, "What's the deal? Like, what's happening right now? Are you gonna kill me? Because if you are, can you just fucking get it over with?" Like, I was like, "Okay, what's the deal?" And she was like, like she starts laughing and the table's laughing and shit, and we're like, "So are you gonna kill me or not?" And she explains that they were recently in Las Vegas, and they invented this game where you pick a person in the room, and you stare at them for as long as you can. And then you count the amount of times they look at you before they actually address you. That was it. And I was like, "Oh shit, lady, I'm sorry. I thought like the dude singing in the band was your husband, and I was talking about how he was trying to get anal with people in the crowd, and I thought you were furious about that or something." It was just the weirdest.
Yeah, I think this game.
By the way, the rest of the table did not seem to give a shit about the game.
No, they didn't. I feel like there was no game. And she now possesses some part of your being.
I'm a little concerned still. When I woke up the next morning, first thing I did was check the back of my neck for a rash, but nothing so far. Y'all don't know. This couldn't even be. I could not be me right now. This could be Ron Bowler sitting right here instead of Ross Bolen.
Yeah. So the weird thing about the game to me is like I feel like this is a game that's meant to be played while you guys are at a standing table in a bar and you're staring at a dude who's like at the bar itself, maybe like 20 feet away. This woman, it cannot be like overstated.
She was me to you.
She was, from her face to Ross's face, probably 4 feet.
Yes.
We were packed in like sardines here.
Yeah, no, I mean it would be like if the person 2 seats over in a movie theater was staring at you.
Yes.
I was like, the fuck? Like, I mean, there was no way I was getting past one look. It was too close of quarters. Like, I wasn't going to be able to get... Now,
the waiter, when she took our order, was further away from you than she was.
Now, here's the thing. That game, if played correctly in a restaurant further away, and if the person you have chosen notices, think about how scared I was. Think about how scary that would be,
Yeah,
bro.
like you're not even
Somebody's
close enough to
3
address
tables
her.
over, and they're just fucking staring at you into your soul like that woman was to me. That was some shit.
Now, part of story, I think, from my side.
Makes you hard.
Well, no. What if she looked at our table, was like, wow, that like weird bearded fuck won't stop just talking at this guy who clearly is disinterested in the conversation.
I've got to save this dude.
I'm going to save him by just ruining and inserting
by
myself
possessing
in,
his soul.
By
inserting myself into his...
I will take his soul, and I will take the brunt.
Your soul is mine.
Your soul is mine.
That was my... what's that guy's name in Mortal Kombat?
Oh, Tim.
Tim, yeah. And then Tim yells, "It has begun!" You seen Mortal Kombat? Are you wondering how long I'll go? Because I'll do the whole song.
No, you won't.
No. Dude, I used to jam that in my car. Is that weird?
I used to play a lot of jock jams in my car, like stadium music.
I'm not. I was just on there though. Like,
Hey.
I'd be playing like the other hits from the day, and then I'd throw on Mortal Kombat, and I'd just be in traffic.
Can we stop playing Gary Glitter in stadiums?
I don't know what that is. Get over here. Who's Gary Glitter?
He sang was it rock song number 2 or whatever? It's the Joker.
Right?
Yeah. Da-na-na-na-na. Hey.
Oh yeah, fuck that
yeah,
song.
That guy's a pedophile, convicted pedophile. And he makes royalties every time that song is used. He made a ton of money off of Joker because that's the song he goes down to the stairway with. And every time that song is played, that pedophile makes money.
Pedo paid?
Yeah, that song is putting money in the pocket of a pedo.
That's like one of our cultural sports songs.
It's not great.
I think they just put that on every jock jams. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 through 26. How many jock jams are there? Is it like now where they just keep going?
I consider any song that's ever been played in a stadium to be a jock jam. I'm not totally familiar with what the term jock jam actually means.
Oh my God, are you not?
No.
Oh my God, bro, I'm about to blow your fucking mind. It's
I know
melt.
Tootsie Roll.
Cancel the rest of the show.
Is Tootsie Roll by Jock Jams?
No, Jared, jock jams was
it is.
Okay, so you know what now is, right? Those albums that would just say now and it had like the 50 hits from that year or whatever.
Yeah.
Jock Jams was a compilation album series that started in July of 1995 that just had all of the songs on it that you're referring to. And the cover looked like this. If I can get this to pull up more largely, it doesn't get bigger than that. I'm sorry. I apologize for this tiny cover.
ESPN presents?
I believe so. Yeah. Wow. Didn't realize that. That is fucking insane.
Apparently the song Tootsie Roll is by a band called 69 Boys.
Yes. So all of these songs, I'll just read through them. Let's Get Ready to Rumble. Get Ready for This. Whoop, There It Is. Strike It Up. Tootsie Roll. All the fucking classic 90s stadium songs are on here. YMCA, Pump Up the Jam. These are so bad. They're so bad.
What song is Y'all Ready for This?
Hip Hop Hooray.
I don't even know.
Gonna Make You Sweat. Oh, that's Everybody Dance Now. Anyway, these were fucking... Dude, so this was volume 1, and there was more than one, and I had like 3 of them shits, and I used to jam them all the time as a kid back on Deep Spring Lane. That address does nothing for anybody now, because I don't live there anymore. Haven't in 30 fucking years. No, not 30 years. How old am I? I lived there for a long time.
I don't know how old
Deep
you
into
are.
my teens.
Well,
years. My formative years, Jared.
How
what
did
were
we start
talking
talking about this?
Jock jams? I don't know.
I like how at the same time we realized,
I don't know.
We're both so derailed right now.
The
We literally
hotel?
don't even...
The dinner? The ladies staring?
Honestly, I don't remember how we got to jock jams.
Mortal Kombat?
Let's...
It's tough to retrace our steps. This is like...
okay, guitarist, it has to do with the musician.
I just like that the listeners know. That's the only thing that matters. Right?
Do they? Oh, whatever. Who cares? Let's keep going, huh?
Yeah, so today's episode, we're getting back to funny stuff, which has already happened. I don't know why I have to announce it now. Because, listen, life is fucking hard. And while we need to talk about that sometimes, and we did last episode, we don't have to talk about it all the time. And it's important to laugh, and Jared's maturity level can only handle episodes that are serious like once a month or so. So today we're going to laugh some
working
more.
on it, though.
He is working on it. Before we laugh, it's time to get fucking energized, baby.
Yeah.
RVP 266 is brought to you by Liquid IV. Liquid IV has been supporting the show forever.
Long time. Longer than me.
Very long.
I hated RBP at one point, and I was like, oh, man, fuck Ross. But
Yeah, when Jared
Liquid
was
IV
still
likes you.
anti-RBP gang, he was running with another bandana. They were already here.
Yeah.
You know them for their hydration multiplier that we all love, but did you know that half of Americans report that they fight with daily fatigue? Did you?
I mean, no, but...
Answer the question, motherfucker.
No, it sounds right,
Maybe
though.
you recognize some of the signs of low energy. Decreased focus, lack of motivation, poor mood, unhappiness. I just call these Jared symptoms. Who wants these things? Nobody. Liquid IV Energy Multiplier gives you sustained energy throughout the day. Fight fatigue without the crash. You got their hydration multiplier. Now you have an energy multiplier. This is great.
Can I stack them to...
I don't know how that works.
It's just like a video game where I can stack the
Please read
energy
the
multiplier.
box. Read the box if you're gonna stack your hydration. I don't think they like us calling it stacking even. But it's the perfect replacement for morning coffee. An all-natural alternative to processed energy drinks. Has premium matcha and green energy blend. Tastes delicious. Provides a lasting energy boost throughout the day. It's the fatigue-fighting boost you'd get from a couple cups of coffee, but without the crash. You see, you want to avoid the crash. I saw the movie Crash. Sad as fuck. Stay away from that.
Jeremy Piven in that?
No. Contains a mixture of teas and herbs and high-end antioxidants that help improve mood and focus. It's a healthier alternative to traditional energy drinks and coffee. No artificial flavors or preservatives. Liquid IV's cellular transport technology delivers an optimal ratio of nutrients for more efficient uptake. Enhanced rapid absorption into the bloodstream gives you a lasting energy boost fast. Powers your mornings, fuels long days at work. Provides a boost for those tough workouts. Clean ingredients, non-GMO, vegan. Free of gluten, dairy, and soy. Convenient TSA-friendly single-serving packets. Perfect for travel. Get 25% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use the code Ross at checkout. That's 25% off anything you order. Anything. Hydration multiplier, fucking energy, it doesn't matter. Liquid IV's website, you just go to liquidiv.com, enter the promo code Ross to save 25% and get better hydration and energy. Don't wait. Start fueling your adventures today. Liquidiv.com, code Ross.
Make sure you use code Ross, but tell him J-Bone sent you.
Verbally. Tell them that, yes. Announcements and shouts. Welcome to the world, Shepard Birch, the newest member of the RBP gang, at least at the moment that I wrote this down. Congrats to Jake and his wife. Huge.
His wife.
Sometimes people will hit me up and be like, we had a kid, we did it. We're going to make this fucker listen to your show one day. And I'm like, that's huge for me.
You know what? It's actually not that huge because if they're a real RBP gang baby, they put the headphones on the stomach.
That's true.
So,
that's true.
No, I'm not one to like shit on. Like, congrats on the kid. I'm just
saying.
No,
listen, we're not trying to tell you how to raise your baby and or fetus. We're just saying that if you were real, you'd put headphones on your tum-tum when you're pregnant and pump my voice into your child so that it can be comforted by this sweet, sweet baritone.
You know, either RBP or OCC or FAMF.
Just RBP. Start with RBP, then you can get to the other stuff.
True.
Congratulations, guys. Happy birthday, Ryan D. Also shouts to Drew, I believe it's Gilmore, and his dad, for that matter. Drew, I know the anxiety stuff sucks ass, but I promise you it gets easier. I added Respect Mr. Park to our inexplicably random sign-off sequence after I watched Parasite for our TV and film podcast that Jared just mentioned, Oysters, Clams, and Cockles. Also brought to you by Bolen Media, as well as Freeze All Motor Functions, also brought to you by Bolen Media. Congratulations to that film, Parasite. Bong Joon-ho and all the parasites and all the bong rippers out there, as it absolutely dominated the Academy Awards.
So, I saw Parasite at a 10:45 p.m. showing 2 nights ago.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's late.
Oddly enough, I went and saw with Dan Regester. Has he been on the show?
He has a couple times.
Yeah.
Probably not enough to be known by name to most of them, but that's okay.
I really wanted
one of our friends and former colleagues.
Yes, I really wanted to see it, and I shot out a Hail Mary text. I was like, Dan, it was like 10 o'clock at this point. I was like, Dan, do you want to go see this 10:45 showing of Parasite? He's like, yeah. Did never expect him to say yes. Oddly enough, the theater I saw it at, the Alamo in South Lamar, Dan and I walked out of the theater.
That's the theater I go to every time I go to a movie.
I looked to the right. There was a plaque. At first, I thought it was a temporary plaque that was only there because Parasite was like being big. I walk over. It's permanent. It says, "This theater, this Alamo Draft House South Lamar, is officially now known as the Bong Joon-ho Cinema." It's the first ever Alamo Draft House that was named after a director. After it was like in September of last year, they named the Alamo Draft House South Lamar the Bong Joon-ho Cinema.
Yeah, he premiered.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That was premiered at the Alamo in South Lamar?
What the fuck, man? They gotta
It
do
was
a better job of...
the Texas premiere, I think. Yeah.
Listen,
Oh,
I'll be
Texas
honest with you. That plaque is trash. Because I've been there 40 fucking times since last September, and I haven't seen this thing.
Okay,
Listen,
right before the doors, turn left.
if they had real respect for Bong, they would rip down the current... What do they call those?
Doors.
It's a cool word for the... where it says, like,
Curtains?
Alamo Draft House.
Marquee.
Marquee. Thank you, Mike.
Ooh, wow.
Marquee Mike over here. New nickname, Mike. Rip that bitch down and just put Bong, if they really cared. Because this plaque is not getting it done. Clearly, I didn't even know.
Yeah.
That being said, so you enjoyed the film?
I did.
That's it. End of your review.
Yes, but they don't ever say respect, Mr. Park. They just says respect.
I say whatever I want, though.
I love that guy.
Because I have a microphone, and you will listen to every damn word that I have to say.
What was your favorite moment?
The Wedding Singer.
What's your favorite moment from Parasite?
I think it's pretty clear which moment.
Which time that he says it?
Which time
when he said it?
favorite based on what I yell at the end of every episode we've done since I saw the movie. Anyway, congratulations to Parasite and Jared and Dan. Good shit, Dan.
Mine's when the child is eating the cake and he looks down at the basement and you see that guy's head pop up. That's funny.
Shouts to our Polish listener, Amanda. Hold on. I got to make sure I get this because this is for baked goods. Mashinsky. Amanda Mashinsky. I'm pretty sure that's right. Mashinsky. Remember I said there was a Polish name I wanted to read?
Yeah.
And I wasn't given permission? She gave me permission. Mashinsky was the name I wanted to read. It was a tight name.
It's a good last name.
I think that's correct. Give me my baked goods. Thank you. Amends and fact-checking. El Chapo is in Colorado because Florence, Colorado is actually home to our nation's only supermax security prison, which is apparently, according to the listener that sent me this amend, is like a domestic Guantanamo Bay, which shouldn't be a funny comparison, but for some reason is to me. It's just funny to me. Domestic Guantanamo Bay.
You always call domestic Guantanamo Bay Detroit.
I've never said that about Detroit.
Ross hates Detroit.
Never said that about Detroit and the good people of Detroit or
Ross
anyone in the
Ross loves
automotive
Detroit.
industry ever. President Abraham Lincoln did not enjoy retirement. Richard Nixon did not enjoy impeachment. The population of China is 1.439 billion. First segment. How long have we even been in? I can't.
Mike, how long has it been?
How long have we been recording? How many minutes?
21 minutes.
21 minutes. You love a good 20-minute
This
intro.
has got to be the biggest longest intro ever.
No, it's become commonplace. It's a real thing. First segment, insane headlines of the day. First one. Name a cockroach after your ex and watch an animal eat it on Valentine's Day. This is a fun story from local San Antonio Zoo that made national headlines over the past couple days and in the wake of Valentine's Day. Not in the wake, in the preceding it. What comes before the boat?
The boat.
In the lake of Valentine's Day.
No. It's before the wake, so it would be the boat.
The boat of Valentine's Day.
The boat brings the wake.
Yes.
The calm.
Yes, the calm before Valentine's Day. Anyway, this story made national headlines. This was from CNN. Is the memory of your ex bugging you?
But
somebody really wrote that, a journalist. I'm not going to say their name because I don't want to hurt their feelings. But somebody really wrote that. The San Antonio Zoo has a solution. For just $5, zoo staff will name a cockroach after your former lover and feed it to an animal at their, quote, Cry Me a Cockroach, end quote, event on Valentine's Day. Here's the thing. Statistically speaking, let's say 5,000 people do this.
Yeah.
One of those motherfuckers is going to pay the $5 to have the cockroach named after their former lover fed to an animal. By the way, I'd like to pick the animal my former lover is fed to. Then their former lover is going to die. Just statistically, one of them's going to die. And then they're going to think it was their fault because they fed the cockroach voodoo doll version of their former lover to an animal of their choice at the San Antonio Zoo. That's what's going to happen here. I'm pre-warning everybody. Somebody is going to ruin their life with guilt because they think they killed their former lover in the form of a cockroach that translated to reality. I told y'all about that time that I had a dream that there was a cockroach in my room and it was crawling towards my bed and I couldn't move. And then I woke up and I found a dead cockroach by the door. Shit happened.
Dude, that's like The Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. Have you ever read such a
Yes,
book?
I have read that. What the fuck? That is such a college reference that I never would have remembered again in my life if you hadn't brought it up just now.
I read that in high school. Shouts to IB. Hey.
Most of the things normal people read in high school, I read in college. Did you take a bunch of AP courses, you fuck?
I just said shouts to IB. Hey, if you were in the IB program.
Is that what it's called for y'all? Ours is called AP.
No, so International Baccalaureate is like a different program. It's like essentially AP level classes, but it's your entire curriculum.
Just bearded fucks only in there.
Yeah, no, I didn't have a beard at the time. I would have gotten through it a lot more easily if I had. That would have made me rough and able to like take on the academic challenges rather than crying under my staircase like a really sad Harry Potter every single night. Anyways,
wow, dude, holy
for
shit!
sure.
This was supposed to be the funny episode. We were talking about cockroaches.
No, dude, we were having a good time for sure.
Oh, okay. So let me continue reading this though because it's humorous to me, which is why we're here. And if your ex-boo was an especially snaky one, pay $20 more to have them name a rat and feed it to a reptile instead.
I'm not gonna lie. When you were giving your whole explanation about like I didn't hear a word you said about like, oh, this is why it's weird to do this.
That's fine.
I was looking up going to buy a cockroach and put your name on it.
Okay.
But I didn't want to pull my credit card out because we're recording this on video. I didn't want somebody to zoom in and look at my credit card.
Yeah. Some James Bond shit.
Yeah, and I saw the rat option. I don't like that as much. That's like both of these. First off, super.
I love that there's a rodent option. I love that.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of like, hey.
Well, Jared, here's the thing. Those rats are
is-
being fed to the animals anyway. You
Okay, that's
understand?
true. But this is like the opposite of the presidential turkey pardoning.
Yeah, but they're not bringing in the rats and cockroaches just to name them after ex-lovers and feed them to animals. Those animals have to eat shit.
Okay.
By the way, as I say these things out loud, I ask myself, what animal in the zoo is fed rat?
Well, that was for reptiles. Snakes.
Ah, there we go.
It's
Okay.
the snakey
yeah.
one. The
Oh,
especially
you mean the
snaky
word
one.
I literally read a couple minutes ago, reptile.
No, yeah. That's exactly what I'm
That
referencing.
makes sense. No, okay, never mind. I was thinking to myself like, yo, they don't feed like a rat to a gorilla, do they?
Did you ever think about when animals like snakes eat rodents whole, they're eating all the poop inside the animal too?
Why? Just why?
The thought you said.
Let me ask you this. You
you
get
said
bothered by
eat-
shrimp with poop in it?
No,
I don't either. Fuck it.
I'm not bothered. However, I hear that if you get a prawn.
What movie is that where he says, why do they never deterred these things? What movie is that? You
I have no
remember?
idea. I don't know
Sorry,
what
go
movie-
continue. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I heard prawns, their poop vein can get pretty gritty because they're so big. But like,
is it veinier?
yeah,
You know what it is that bugs people? It's the shrimp poop vein too symmetrically resembles the dick vein. That's what it is.
I'm not sure that's what it is. I think it's the idea that it's poop.
Look,
Although
it's a
most people,
theory.
I didn't know it was
Tommy
poop.
Boy. It's Richard and Tommy Boy.
I didn't know it was
I
poop
googled
for a
it.
while.
I didn't fucking remember it.
I
I don't
thought
know
it
why
was
I'm
like-
pretending my brain gave me that. It didn't.
I thought it was like a wholesome blood vein, and then my girlfriend was like, "Jared, it's poop.
It's that poop again.
Yeah, it's the poop. Jared, it's poop."
We got
again."
Billy Madison in there too. We're really on
Yeah,
fire
you,
here.
you want to do another one? My wife.
Holy shit, here's one. The best part of the deal, you don't have to be at the zoo to watch your ex-turned-pest get eaten up. The zoo plans to stream the feedings on Facebook Live. Of course, Zuckerberg's getting a cut out of this somehow. Out of every $5 and $20 you throw down, Mark Zuckerberg becomes richer. You pay money for the San Antonio Zoo to feed a rat or a cockroach named after your ex-lover to an animal or reptile, and Zuck is the one that ends up getting paid. Never forget it. You'll even receive a certificate to share on social media. Look, it's one thing to do this. Who the fuck gets the certificate? And then, is it a USB certificate, bro? Like, what do you mean I can share it on social media? Are they just telling me that I can do that if I'm physically able?
Wait,
like,
so you're telling me you're gonna look at my
I can share anything
you're
on
gonna
social,
look
Jared.
at my Instagram, and it's gonna be a certificate with my ex-girlfriend's name on it that says that I've gone through all the trouble of spending money.
to pay hard-earned currency, physical cash, to have a cockroach or a rat named after her and fed to an animal at the zoo on Facebook Live, no less.
Who would do that?
And is this like a baptism? Are they saying the name of each person before they dunk them? It's like Jared Borislow.
Yeah.
And then you said, Jesus saved you, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, and then they bring you back up. I don't even know what they say because you're under the water. You don't even fucking hear.
Kirsten Smith
They never
in
yeah.
Plover, Wisconsin.
And then they just bring in another roach and chunk it into the cage. Like fucking rat just walking in by the tail. All right, we got here a Kaylee Stevens. Dropping it into the anaconda cage. This is the most ridiculous shit.
This has to just be a publicity stunt.
You know, it's fun.
Because we're talking about it.
But the thing is, it's not just a publicity stunt because you can pay $5 or $20, Jared, I don't know if you were listening, to have your former lover named after a cockroach or rat that then they do it. What do you mean? It's not just a publicity stunt.
I think they are getting free advertising by us talking about it, which pales
Oh,
in-
the San Antonio Zoo, the massive corporation that we all have to fear, giving free advertising to, it's Zuck that's the end of this trail. Remember that. He's the one at the end of this whole scheme. You think he didn't come up with this shit?
I know. I do not think he came.
By
up
the
with
way,
it.
tomorrow's the last day to do this. So February 13th at 5 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Eastern. If you can make it down. Actually,
Hey,
you
you
know,
know
I don't
what?
even think you have to. You just submit a name through the zoo's website. Oh, my God. They're going to make a killing. Only first names will be displayed during the event. They're going to display names at all? That's amazing.
well
I was
then,
joking.
You need to. What you do? Here's the key: is you make up a really unique first name,
Why would you do that?
so you know when your roach gets eaten.
Like Stephanopoulos or something?
Yeah. Like Gorgonzola.
Why is that your only? Oh my God! You've used the three you have on Freeze All Motor Functions and this show, and you rotate through them. That's all you have
I
now.
said Gorgonzola.
One of them starts with Gorgon every time.
No.
All right, next headline. Thailand turns away cruise ship rejected by 3 nations over coronavirus fears. Now, I just want to say up front, before we even get into the nitty-gritty of this story, what did I tell you people about cruise ships? Floating death traps. Never get on a cruise ship.
Have you actually said this before?
Yeah. This shit is so bad, though. I started saying it after ships started getting stuck at sea and then filled with poo. Remember this? You heard about this? You remember this? You heard about this?
I heard this.
Well, it's happened, and this is not that, just for the record. This is people, it's about 1,500 passengers.
Well, I'm
and
sure it's filled with poo.
Well, sure. An 800 crew stuck at sea on the MS Westerdam after Thailand followed the lead of both Japan, the Philippines, and Guam by denying the luxury cruise liner the ability to dock because this thing launched from Hong Kong.
I can't wait to hear you say this name.
And which name is that?
The next name.
Oh, I probably skipped. Oh, Thailand's health minister, Anutin Charnvirakul.
That's probably pretty good.
whatever. Said in a Facebook post that he had issued orders against a luxury cruise ship docking at a port near Bangkok, where it was due to arrive on February 13th, 2020. That's tomorrow. We are from the future. The ship sailed from Hong Kong on February 1st. So, these fools have been stuck for like 2 weeks on this boat. They won't let them dock it anywhere because every country is terrified that it's just got at least one person with the coronavirus on it.
Yeah.
And they're all set to be quarantined whenever they do eventually get let. I just don't know, when does this end? Like, what? How is it? Like, is it hot potato? Is it a hot potato situation where like the country where the cruise ship runs out of gas is the one that gets stuck with all the passengers that might have coronavirus? How do we keep the tide pushing this ship away from us?
Where do you want it to land?
I'm trying to think of somebody who deserves a good coronavirus ship right now. I can't.
No.
You know what? I'm not going to try to damn an entire nation right now. I'm going to stick to my normally morally sound guns.
Maybe they land on a deserted island and start their own country.
And then it mutates and they become super human somehow, and then they come for us.
It's like
what
this
Zuck
is a
wants.
revenge story.
That's what Zuck wants. Oh, by the way,
think Zuck wants
1,016
that? people
people have died over from the virus at this point. I think that number is even higher, about like 1,200 now today.
It's crazy.
It's actually fairly terrifying. Most of those are all in China's. Wow, is it Hubei or Hubei?
Hubei?
I'm sorry, Herbie Hancock province. That's the.
Oh.
And more than 42,000 people now infected. That shit.
It's a lot.
Nope.
And you gotta imagine, like, knowing China, that they might be underreporting this number.
Wouldn't be shocking, would it?
I'm
Jared?
not declaring. I'm not.
Oh, you
saying,
mean the country that put up like fake buildings and shit to make themselves look cooler during the Olympics?
Yeah. They put up large screen printed buildings
Like
in front
skyscrapers.
in front of disgusting buildings.
Like, and you know that scene in the interview where it turns out that grocery store was fake? Now imagine if that grocery store was a goddamn skyscraper and it was the Olympics. That's China. Next insane headline of the day. The intelligence coup of the century. You know, I used to say coupe.
I mean,
Like 25 years,
like
man.
a 2-door car is still a coupe.
Literally.
You call
like,
that a coup now?
I think I was like 25 when somebody told me, bro, it's just coup. It's a coup. If you're talking spy shit, it's coup.
It's coup to say coup.
You fly over the cuckoo's nest. That's not
No, that's
close to. Anyway, from the Washington Post.
Skip that one.
Yeah. For more than cut that out, Mike. I'm just kidding. For more than half a century, governments all over the world trusted. This is fucking batshit, by the way. Pay attention. For more than half a century, governments from all over the world trusted a single company to keep the communications of their spies, soldiers, and diplomats secret. The company, Crypto AG,
It's got crypto in the name, so you know it's good.
got its first break with a contract to build code-making machines for U.S. troops during World War II. Flush with cash, it became a dominant maker of encryption devices for decades, navigating waves of technology from mechanical gears to electronic circuits and finally silicon chips and software. The Swiss firm made millions of dollars selling equipment to more than 120 countries well into the 21st century. Its clients included Iran, military, is it juntas? Juntas? In Latin America?
I've always heard juntas.
Juntas?
Yeah, it's junta.
Whatever. Nuclear rivals in India and Pakistan and even the Vatican. But what none of its customers ever knew was that Crypto AG was secretly owned by the CIA in a highly classified partnership with West German intelligence.
I'm not gonna lie. You told me to pay attention. I zoned out for all of that. I don't.
That's unfortunate. These spy agencies rigged the company's devices so they could easily break the codes that countries use to send encrypted messages. So, what I'm saying is this is going to be insane stuff to Wikipedia when you're high in like 20 years. And again, the Washington Post reporting here. Decades-long arrangement among the most closely guarded secrets of the Cold War was laid bare in a classified comprehensive CIA history of the operation obtained by the Washington Post and ZDF, a German public broadcaster, in a joint reporting project. The account identifies the CIA officers who ran the program and the company executives entrusted to execute it, traces the origins of the venture as well as the internal conflicts that nearly derailed it, describes how the U.S. and its allies exploited other nations' gullibility for years, taking their money and stealing their secrets. The operation, known first by the codename Thesaurus and later Rubicon, ranks among the most audacious in CIA history. And then here's a quote, and I love what the quote is from. "It was the intelligence coup of the century," the CIA report concludes.
They're calling their own thing. They're calling their own thing that.
I don't know if you're allowed to do that, but power move.
You know, I called myself J-Bone and it stuck, so that's kind of what they're doing.
Black Mamba. Foreign governments were paying good money to the U.S. and West Germany for the privilege of having their most secret communications read by at least 2 and possibly as many as 5 or 6 foreign countries. That shit is so funny. Bro, you're telling me for I don't even understand quite how long, we had a company that was selling all of these countries what was supposed to be the machinery or the technology that allowed them to communicate in secret, and in fact, our CIA owned that company and was able to access all this shit. Apparently, there were like limits to it. The story is nuts, and it's incredibly detailed, and you can go read the whole thing on the Washington Post. But, wow.
That's pretty interesting. It looks like...
Sounds illegal, possibly. I don't know. That has to violate the Patriot Act, right, Jared?
Sounds like a... I mean, I don't think the Patriot Act applies to, like, other countries, but...
Pretty sure this precedes 9/11.
When did this start, did it say? When did it end, did it say?
It sounds like it was birthed during the Cold War.
Ah. No,
and it must have ended, like, recently if they're now okay with telling us and bragging about it and shit.
And, they're, like, complimenting it. Yeah, you know, I'm going to say it's probably against common decency. But maybe we stopped some bad things. Maybe this led to us doing some bad things. I don't really know how the CIA works.
Hey, I got something to say here, Jared. As an Astros fan, you can all kiss my ass and suck my dick. Because if you hate the Astros, then you hate America.
Okay, we're going full circle? Is this...
I think I'm going to end the segment on that note. Next segment. Lessons I've learned about smoking weed. So for those of you who don't know, I quit drinking alcohol in October of 2017. And as a mental health person with anxiety and addictive tendencies and depression and panic disorder, I found marijuana, cannabis, weed, Mary Jane, pot, grass, ganja, dope, broccoli, that skunk, reefer, herb, otherwise known as the loud, to be very helpful in both keeping alcohol out of my life as well as relieving anxiety and depression and helping put my ass to sleep. That being said, over 2 years of practicing with marijuana on different levels, Jared, and experimenting very scientifically and safely with precise ingredients and measurements and all manner of methods, I've learned some lessons. Some easy, some hard, but that I think are important to share with everyone here today as weed becomes more and more legal across our country and more acceptable socially and such, and we remove the stigma from it. First lesson. Smoke shops are a fucking ripoff, bro. You know how smoke shops are fun as hell? And your whole life you've been going into smoke shops like, there's bongs over here, and then over here there's dildos, and for some reason a GIMP mask. By the way, why they always got to combine that shit? Why is
every smoke shop has a GIMP mask?
Every smoke shop I've ever been in, I'm checking out, and they're like, yo, while you're here, do you want a GIMP suit? And I'm like, I don't think so. Like, do I just look like a GIMP? Is that the thing that everybody assumes about me?
They offer you the whole suit?
Do people tune in on youtube.com/Bolen Media and go, yeah, this motherfucker's a GIMP?
They offer you the whole suit, not just the mask. Like, at what point does it stop being a gag gift? Like, the entire suit?
Yeah, I'll tell you when. When you show up somewhere and there's a GIMP. That's when it stops being a gag gift because shit gets real. You got to go medieval on their ass, Jared. Okay, what was I doing? Oh, yeah, so smoke shops. I mean, when I was a little kid, man, I remember the first time I went to a smoke shop. It was like one of the most exciting experiences of my life. Because I was like, doing bad shit when you're a kid is fun as hell. And I wasn't supposed to be in there. And you can buy all these different things that you can do drugs with, which is good if you're trying to do drugs. You need those tools, right? Now, the thing about smoke shops is always funny. They make you say everything's for tobacco, right? You can't mention weed or you get kicked out. And you can never see inside of these places either. They have the fucking windows. You can't see anything and you can't see through. They're real creepy.
Like a casino.
Yeah, they're one step above like the porn jack-off thing you see on the side of the highway at this point. But what I didn't know about smoke shops, Jared, until I became a massive stoner again, is that everything is wildly overpriced in there to the degree that it's actually insulting. And you can find, and I mean mostly with bongs and water pipes and such too. You know how many times I've gone into a smoke shop and spent over $100 on a bong?
I don't.
Way the fuck too many. Probably 15 in my life, if I had to guess, starting at like 14 years old to 32. So don't freak out about how much money I've spent. That being said, it turns out you can just get bongs and shit now, like on fucking Amazon.
I mean, yeah, I think
For cheap as hell, bro.
I think most people would have assumed that Amazon sells literally everything.
In my head, smoke shops were the only place I could go to get the stuff for weed. No, that's not the case at all, especially now that it's legal in like however many states. What is it, like 13 states?
I heard about this the other day.
Do we still have 50 states?
Yeah, 50 and then 7 territories.
And then we
maybe?
got some.
I don't know. Here's a question. This is actually not a question. Well, it is a question.
Puerto Rico.
Is it true that the first time you ever went into a smoke shop, what you purchased, so it turns out the cashier was eating an apple, and he had made one of those apple pipes out of it? And is it true that you purchased the half-eaten apple pipe that he had made?
What is wrong with you?
Yes or no?
When do you come up with these
How
things?
do you respond?
No.
How do you respond, Ross?
I already responded. Next lesson. Strains really do matter. And before
Strain like eye strain?
before you fucking like
Felix Gray.
meme me or something, they definitely make it like so. The joke I always see on Twitter with weed and strains is like, bro, there are different strains. If you had bad anxiety that one time, it's because you had the wrong strain, bro. You gotta have a different strain. But the thing is, that is actually true, and there are so goddamn many strains. It is absolutely
strain.
bonkers.
Get it?
It is. Like, it is too much to keep up with the it's like the craft brewing situation, but worse, because stoners love this shit. All they want to do is crossbreed weed with each other. Fuck, it's insane. I don't know what the shit. Half the time I'm getting strains now, I can't even find them on the internet because they didn't exist like 2 weeks ago because these dudes can't stop making strains fuck each other. Anyway, my point is, there is an incredible service in multiple of them, and I'm not trying to give like free pub, but I use it all the time. Fuck it, Leafly. It's called Leafly, and you use it. It has every strain you could possibly imagine on there. You Google it, and it'll tell you the effects that strain has on you, the different ways it's used medicinally, et cetera, et cetera. And based on what you're trying to do, whether it's like get through a day, you need a pick-me-up, and you need a little energy boost, and you need a sativa, or you need an indica to calm you down, help you relax, relieve the anxiety, stress, whatever, or you're trying to find a strain that'll like give you a little bit of that freaking tent in your pants or something, like it'll tell you all that shit.
I totally forgot about this story. Leafly came to Austin and hired immediately 30 people who just got laid off from Spreetail.
That's tight.
Leafly is based in Austin.
Oh, I did not know that. Shut the fuck up, really.
Well, yeah, Seattle-based,
Maybe.
but they have an Austin office.
Oh, so Seattle-based but Austin-based.
Yes.
Okay. But yeah, so no, it makes an enormous difference. It's one of those things, just like with any other substance or medication, that you have to find the ones that work for you, right? Like with beer, you don't just go, everybody drinks Budweiser. No, you find the one that you think tastes best or that whatever you enjoy the most. So like, it's the same thing with weed. I think far too many people smoke once or twice, who knows what it is, who knows where it came from, and they're like, fuck this, I'm out. Maybe not a great idea, I'm just saying. Another lesson. Smoking too much weed is bad. Turns out. Just like taking any other medication too much is bad.
Doing too much of anything a lot of times is bad.
I can't think of anything that too much of it's not bad.
Breathing? But I guess if you were hyperventilating,
you'd pass out, bro.
Would you?
Too much is too...
Okay, wait.
Too much of a good thing.
Living.
There you go. Touche.
Although, what would
You
would
can
ra-
never live too much, man.
Well, sometimes they say the candle that burns twice as bright stays lit half as long.
They also say, live fast, die young.
They also say too fast, too furious.
They also say only the good die young.
They also say goody goody gumdrops.
I don't know why they say that.
I guess the gumdrops are pretty good.
Yeah, but there was a point during the course of this 2 years where I was smoking too much. And when you overuse something in any, like as we just discussed, anything too much is bad. But my point is this, as a guy who had been through drinking too much and finding out the bad things that can happen because of that, smoking too much was like a different thing. I'd always had weed in my head as like a thing you can't even abuse because it can't kill you or whatever. You just eventually would fall asleep or puke, both of which I've found a way to do. But yeah, listen, it's just like any other medicine. If you were taking a medicine to treat yourself, in this case it should be to treat stress, anxiety, pain, whatever have you, depression, you wouldn't take too much of that medicine or it would stop working properly. Same thing with weed. Next lesson. Weed smells, and there's nothing you can do about that. Unfortunately, weed, the one huge drawback to weed for me is the stank. If you're getting good shit, which everybody is now because it's so readily available and cheap and coming in from every damn direction with California and Colorado and Oregon. We don't even need it. We don't even have to legalize it in Texas anymore. We just get it from everywhere else.
Do you want to give an anecdote about this that just happened on Saturday?
What happened?
When we walked into the elevator?
Oh, when I walked into the elevator and I smelled like weed?
I remember a group of girls got in.
Mm-hmm.
We were going from like the fourth floor or the third floor the fourth floor down to the lobby.
Yeah.
So they got in for like a 15-second elevator ride, and they get in, the door closed, and they go, "Smells like weed in here."
No, they all started giggling, and like it was another one of those weird moments where like normally I wouldn't have said anything, but I just go, "It smell like weed," and they were like, "Yeah," and they all started laughing. I was like, I'm sorry. I had a joint in my pocket. Perfect example. It's not like I just smoked. It was a fucking tiny joint, bro. Whole goddamn elevator smells like a stink bomb went off in there.
Can I say?
Dude, I'm pretty cautious about it because I find it to be disrespectful to put your stank, no matter what it is, on anybody, right? And like we're sitting in a room with two other people. I don't want to come in here reeking like weed, and it's just weird. It's uncomfortable. I don't know. I had that though. I've had when you sit down with. I was in the smoothie shop the other day that I go to here, Juiceland, and these two dudes walked in, just clearly had either just smoked out their car or they live in a literal weed house, like. And I was just like, come on, bros. Like, the rest of us are trying to fucking live here. And now I'm just thinking about how stoned you two morons are. And as a stoner, I understand how stupid this is for me to even be fighting against myself. But my point is this. The smell thing definitely matters. You have to take it into account. You have to take steps to combat it. You don't want your whole house to reek like weed. And that can happen so easily. And you just have to be careful. So, like, I found smell-proof storage stuff online that I keep my flour in. I keep my bongs outdoors. I don't smoke inside my house. And on occasion, dude, it'll still smell like weed in my house. So you just have to do what you can do and try to be as thoughtful as you can to all the non-weed smokers around or whatever. Next lesson. You truly can treat mental health issues and physical health issues with this shit. Now, as a guy who does not typically deal with physical pain, like I don't have a whole lot of joints and aches and shit like that, right? I did recently start working out again, Jared. Oh. And I might as well have joints and aches and pains at this. I'm 2-3 workouts in and my body is not recovered and it's been 2 weeks and I feel like everything hurts still. It's the first time that I've realized smoking can actually relieve physical pain, where I was like, I don't feel as sore. It was weird. Like I felt only when I was stoned. The next morning I woke up and was physically in pain again, but it was a nice reliever for a few hours. Didn't realize that, but also as a guy who has anxiety and depression and had never dealt with depression before this past like year and a half or so. Oh my God, dude! Look, I know that sounds totally fucking nuts, but there's being depressed is so hard to combat. It's one of those things where you don't want to move, you feel terrible, everything feels like it's beating you, you're dying, it sucks. There's no reason, no energy, no purpose for you to be driven by. And for whatever reason, weed, if you're smoking the right strain, you fuck with the wrong one, you could become more depressed. So you got to be careful with this shit. Find one that says it treats depression. It will make you feel so much better almost instantly, to the point where I have been able to utilize it to go get workouts done, have a fully productive fucking day where I otherwise would have been miserable. So if you're still in the camp of like thinking that marijuana couldn't possibly be used for medical purposes, like it very much can. And again, it goes back to everybody thinks of weed, thinks of like Cheech and Chong, right? Like two morons ripping blunts and running around doing shenanigans and stoners and fucking what's that movie where with Matthew McConaughey where he says Dazed and Confused.
Harold and Kumar.
But so it has that stigma to it. But if you don't smoke a whole blunt to treat your depression, okay? You take 1 or 2 hits or whatever, like whatever your dosage is, and then you go about your business. You're not so stoned out of your mind that you're on your couch drooling, eating Cheetos. That is not the only thing you're capable of doing on weed. A lot of the time when I'm in here talking to the microphone, I'm high and y'all don't even fucking know it. Sometimes I admit to it. Sometimes I don't. So my point is, you just got to change your school of thought on some of this shit. And it can help so goddamn much. Like, I personally have utilized it a ton for this. And again, it goes to that thing, like, where you got to be careful. Because obviously, when I got into smoking too much, it was because I was seeing too much success. I was like, ha-ha, not being depressed rules. I'll just stay high all the time. And it doesn't work that way. You can't do that. You have to give your brain normal sobriety to function properly. You can't just be stoned all day. All right? As much as it sucks to admit. Next lesson. You should probably invest in a good bong to save yourself money on flour. Now, I mean do that through the internet. Do not go into one of the smoke shops and rip yourself off. But do some research, find one that you think makes sense for you, and then get it. And I did this recently after utilizing only rip-off smoke shop bongs. It cost me like however many hundreds of dollars and ended up clogging and being too difficult to clean and a pain in my ass. Finally got one that is, I'm smoking probably a third as much as I was before because it's effective. It's just a more effective smoking device. Technology-wise, I don't know. I'm not going to plug them and cut the check. Also, clean your shit, you disgusting animal. And I speak for myself here, too. Clean your pipe or your bong or whatever, man. Nobody wants to see that. The fuck, it looks like somebody took a shit in it. What is that? Nobody wants to smoke out of that. Clean that fucking thing. And get yourself like a de-bowling ashtray. Google that.
There was a trend for a while where people were pouring beer into their bongs, smoking through the beer,
and then drinking
and
the
then
beer.
chugging it. Thoughts?
Yeah. When you say people, you mean morons and fraternities.
Yes.
That's mainly who you
That's
mean.
literally exactly
Yeah.
what I mean, yes.
That's my people, too. I'm just saying, like, yeah.
That's who it was.
No, we do shit like that. Last lesson. It's important to brush your teeth because just like the stench gets in your clothes and your hair and your face and your skin and shit, it's in your breath.
Let's hear it.
So you have to brush your teeth, Jared. And on that note, RBP 266 is brought to you by Quip, makers of the Quip electric toothbrush, and they want you to know the one single discovery that matters most for your dental care. It is simply this, that if you have good habits, you are good. That means brushing for 2 minutes twice a day and flossing regularly, no matter what brand you use. Now, Quip makes that simple. Starting with an electric toothbrush, refillable floss, and anti-cavity toothpaste, their electric toothbrush has sensitive sonic vibrations with a built-in timer and 30-second pulses to guide a full and even clean. It's my favorite feature about this thing. I've been using it for years now. It's phenomenal. I used it right before I came up to the studio to make sure that my breath didn't stank as I'm spitting into this microphone. Make sure you come out of every brushing session feeling like you left the dentist. That's the only way I know how to describe it. That's how I felt the first time I used it and how I felt every single time since. It's incredible. The Quip floss dispenser comes with pre-marked string to help you use just enough so you're not pulling out 14 feet of yarn. Plus,
Yarn?
Quip delivers fresh brush heads, floss, and toothpaste refills to your door every 3 months with free shipping, so your routine is always right. You know how your brush head gets all worn down and gross and disgusting? Well, fuck all that. They send you another one. Join over 3 million healthy mouths and set up Quip today. Start at just $25. And if you go to getquip.com/RBP right now, you'll get your first refill free. That's your first refill free at getquip.com/RBP, GETQUIP.com/RBP. Quip, the good habits company. Next segment. Thursday lines and Friday beers. All right, so there are these two Instagram accounts that have gained a substantial amount of steam in the what I will call the meme community.
I've had
over the past several weeks.
I don't follow either one of these. I've never heard of Thursday Lines, but I've had people talking about Friday beers like a lot lately, and I'd never heard of this account. As somebody who runs a large meme account, I'd never heard what?
Nothing, just funny way to toot your own horn.
Well, it's a fact, okay? At Tinder Combos.
As somebody who runs a large meme account.
Stop what you're doing right now.
Finish your take.
Unless you're driving.
Finish your take.
Follow at Tinder Combos, baby.
Finish your take.
Dap. Okay, I'd never heard of Friday beers. This usually does not happen where a meme account gets this nationwide this fast.
Well, I haven't even got to tell anybody what it is yet.
Go on. Good stopping point for me.
Yeah. Good take, Jared. So, first of all, let's start with Friday beers. I had heard this more and more in and out of like random tweets and so like just like the sort of pop culture reference lexicon shit that I don't know, the way kids talk and what the fuck not. Y'all are all young. A lot of y'all are real young and you talk to me on Twitch and shit and I have to decipher your fucking language. And I was like, what the hell is this? Now, then I started getting tagged in them by people because y'all like to tag me and shit you think is funny, which is great. I thoroughly enjoy that. Basically, this is the concept of Friday beers. It takes movie and television show scenes and turns them into moving memes. Now, that's not a concept that I was familiar with before. A meme, usually a still frame image with text at the top, text at the bottom that comes together to form a joke or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Or multiple labeled situation. I think of the one with the guy walking with his girlfriend and looking back at the other girl, where each of them will be labeled, right?
Yeah. That's a meme.
Now, these are clips. So I'll give you the most recent one that was fucking hilarious that I was dying that I sent one of my group texts today. It's from World War Z, and it's the one on Thursday. It's the most recent one on Thursday Lines, I believe. And by the way, I have no idea who runs these. If they end up being like white supremacists, Nazis, psychopaths, I apologize, and I'm not trying to promote scum. This is just funny-ass content. That's all I know how to say about it. This shit is absolutely hysterical. So this most recent one's for World War Z, and it's the scene at the end where Brad Pitt is stuck basically facing off with one more zombie. He has to, spoiler alert, infect himself, and then he's able to walk through all the rest of the zombies. And the concept of Thursday Lines is that on Thursday you do cocaine, I guess, and everybody else is trying to get your cocaine, especially like chicks. It's if every meme is centered around like a dude and his boys trying to do blow, and everybody else coming in and trying to take it from him or fucking so
It's just absurd.
dude, so Brad Pitt is labeled at the beginning of this one, me, freshly fotched in the handicap stall, which means he just did cocaine. And then the zombie he is staring across at through the glass says, hard six, hunting sack. Now what that implies is that pretty much like here's the weirdness of this meme. It's going at like club culture in America, right?
Yeah.
And how like super hot, dumb chicks in clubs are always trying to score cocaine. That's the stereotype. I'm not saying that's a reality. That's the basis for the entire account. And then it's literally just playing with that in a million different... Jared's watching them. He's not laughing at me. I know that could have been confusing. And you would have been like, Jared, sucking Ross's cock right now. That wasn't even that funny. But, dude...
This is so long. This meme is like a minute long.
Oh no! They're all long videos.
See, I'm not.
And
this
from
is
great movies and shit too.
This is the first time I've ever seen a long form meme.
This is next. This is the
You think
funniest.
Is this the next trend? Long form memes?
I don't look. It's already a trend. It's at this Thursday Lines is at 89,000 followers. Friday Beers is at 595,000 followers. It's working, but it's like it's the dumbest, funniest shit that I've seen in a long time because it's all like Friday Beers is great, but I don't drink, so I don't necessarily give a fuck about that one. I know it's funnier to y'all probably. Thursday Lines, as a dude who used to do cocaine, is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. And I don't think you even have to have done it to get the jokes because coke, for whatever reason, is just very stereotyped in our society as like everybody gets it. Everybody sort of gets this sort of joke, but all of the phrases and shit that they plug in and all the like cocaine slang and stuff that they use that you have to pick up on by watching a whole bunch of them. I'm watching the one for Gladiator right now. Where he's fighting the dude with the sick pull-down mask and the scarred-up face, the veteran they bring out of retirement to fight Maximus, and that dude's labeled try-hard cuck, and Maximus is labeled me, and then he stabs his sword into the ground, and it's labeled chooch katana. So there's lots of phrases like chooch and chotch and all the different words for cocaine, and you have to pick up on all that, but once you're there,
I might do this the rest of the night.
I mean, it's the fucking most
This is
ridiculous
absurd.
shit, bro. I'm not...
The Lord of the Rings one.
Dude,
So
you will
funny.
spend forever in here. And it's the context of the movies and stuff that makes... Or fucking Pirates of the Caribbean. For
World
some
War
reason.
Z.
Yeah, it just makes it a million times funnier. And then obviously, again, for all the drinkers out there, there's the Friday Beers version of this as well. Which recently Friday Beers did... Almost Heroes, my favorite Chris Farley movie that nobody ever watched, as one of theirs as well. So watch that. Anyway, I just sort of had stumbled across those accounts over the weekend, and they gave me a big laugh.
Long form memes may be the future. This might be the next evolution of meme, and that might be why it's caught on so fast.
I have to believe it is, Jared. If you're masterfully executing it at the degree these people are, who I hope are not white supremacists and or Nazis.
Here's what I need somebody to do: take the YouTube recordings of RBP, make a long form meme based on like if there's ever one where you and I are like doing let's make movements right now.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how anybody's gonna.
I don't. Now I got Mike in there. Mike's.
I don't have that
parents.
many moves to do, you know? It's like a friggin' limited space here, man. Anyway, yeah, somebody make us a long form meme. Next segment. The death of a group text.
Yeah.
So group texts have become an unavoidable part of our day-to-day comms, right, with friends and family. If you are lucky, you are in less than 3 that are active. If you are lucky, you've got 1 that's family and 1 that's friends. If you're unlucky, it's like friends from high school, friends from college, friends from work, your family on one side, your family on the other side, and it's hell. One, then it's extended family and one. I've got 1 that's extended family. What the shit? I got a fucking aunt. I'm not joking, aunt, excuse me, who created it. We didn't need this one.
No, this should only be used for like births,
Bro,
deaths.
I know she's probably listening too. I don't mean to hurt you. But this thing is a damn disaster. That group text needs to die. Pay attention. I'm just saying, I've got these things popping up out of my ass at this point. So, sometimes group texts don't last. Something happens. The love is lost. They wither up and die. And Jared, it's time to discuss the death of a group text, why they die, how we can mourn them, and move on when they do.
Yep. We talked about this at that dinner that we had.
We did. This is a segment born of reality.
The biggest I've had experience where we, after college, me and my friends started up a group text. There's one
To keep up with each other,
keep
right?
up with each other.
Because you scatter to the wind.
Exactly.
Fucking go get man jobs.
And the first, like right after it started, we were like so excited for it. We're like, yeah, we're all gonna keep in contact. There was one fucking green texter.
Yeah, gotta have those blue bubbles.
Okay, if there's no blue bubbles, this is back. I don't know if they changed this. This is back when if I tap backed and I did the little ha response, not like in text.
Oh, bro, that shit's still going.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
You would go.
Jared emphasized. Ryan went to
Oh
the
my
park today and had a
God.
time walking. Like, yeah, dude, no, it's hell.
Ryan was one of the guys in the group text.
It's absolute hell.
And then what would happen
Dude,
is people would start making jokes where they'd copy and paste that, and it'd be like, Jared emphasized, Ryan emphasized.
See, we and here's another thing about those green text groups.
Yeah.
The family one I just mentioned that sprung up, it's a green text group, and every single one of those groups has experienced that.
No, it's
where
the
the
worst.
first time everybody goes, haha, it's kind of funny that we all get this stupid message when the emphasis from the iPhone, and
Jared
then everybody
emphasized,
starts
Ross
hilarious.
emphasized.
Yes, and
Kevin
then
laughed at.
for 20 minutes, your whole fucking family's doing it. Then 3 days later, you know, your aunt who was asleep starts doing it. It's just a nightmare.
So green texting is a huge.
It's a problem.
It ruins it.
So
It's
as
aesthetically
I told you
unappealing.
on the weekend, we had a guy in our group, our college group text. It was 5 deep, and this one dude switched from iPhone to Samsung. And he got green text, and we told him point blank, Todd, you're out. I'm not joking. His name is Todd.
He was just done?
Todd, you're out. And Todd was like, I know I'm out. I understand. He was cool about it. Like, dude, this is funny because, like, one of our best friends, this is a very tight-knit group of people, and we were like, Todd, you're out. I'm not joking. I don't know what Todd's up to now. Todd could be dead. Nobody's heard from Todd since. He might as well not exist. Todd was a close friend of mine, and now he's gone because he chose a fucking green text.
When's the last time you saw Todd?
Wedding, Cabo, 2 Augusts ago.
How was he at the time? Noticeably beaten down?
Actually, he showed up to the rehearsal dinner. What's it called after you get married? The reception. In the only person not in a suit, because he jumped into the pool in front of everyone there. Not well is how I mean he was.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, Todd, hope you're doing well. And I'm just kidding. He's very much alive.
It's
but I do not talk to him nearly as much as I did, and it's because he chose the green text life.
Apple knows what they're doing here, right? Like that's why they made it an ugly green. That's why they make it like hurt your eyes how ugly it is.
There's something about that color didn't that used to be the color?
Yes.
And man, something about it now makes you feel poisoned.
It's disgusting.
It is disgusting.
I would say like apologies to green texters, but here's the thing: green texters don't know they're green texters because they don't have to look at the green text.
I don't even know what they see. I don't want to know.
I don't want to know what they see. I hope that at some point we find a cure.
Me too. Prayers and shouts. Other reasons that they die, other than green texters, text groups. Someone blows their life up, and it gets weird in there. Have you seen one of these happen yet?
I have not.
So,
like, are we talking like somebody cheats on with somebody else in the group?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be that dramatic. It doesn't have to be soap opera level, but it could be something as simple as like a divorce or something like I'm trying to think of some good examples. Coworkers. You could all be coworkers, and one of you gets fired or just fucks your job up, and like something weird happens. You know what I mean? Anybody blowing their life up. So maybe you all lived in the same city and you all text each other for that reason, and one of you is like, Wanderlust, and is suddenly in New York. That'll blow your group text up a little, because then suddenly you're texting every Thursday to get together, and fucking Jan now lives in New York.
Oh, when she's like, drink a beer for me.
Or she's just like, guys, I'm not, like, everybody's like, I'm at Clark's. This happened to me with a Houston one, which ironically is the one that Todd got thrown out of and I'm still in. And ironically is no longer all Houston guys. But at the time, they all lived in Houston, and they would text each other every weekend. We're meeting at this bar. Now we're at this bar. Now we're at this bar. Picture of this idiot. And I was like, fuck you guys. 1, I don't even drink. 2, I'm not in that goddamn city. Eventually that stopped, thankfully. And then Todd got killed. But yeah, somebody blowing their life up will for sure, possibly, you gotta look out for these warning signs, because your group text is in peril if somebody blows their life up. Like if it is a coworker group text and somebody gets fired, that shit's done. So y'all better start talking quick. All right, what do we do? Carol's out. Do we establish a new one without Carol? Do we talk to Carol and see if she wants to stay?
I think the move is you make a new group text. You don't
try to
Hey,
wrangle.
you just got fired, and now you're also fired from the group. Like, it's like an exiling.
It's too awkward.
Yeah.
You're inevitably going to have to cut that group text off. You might as well do it now. Just rip the Band-Aid. Yeah. Another reason a group text could die. You realize you all hate each other.
Uh-huh.
That none of you ever really liked each other in the first place. You're not even sure why you're texting. You ever had that happen?
No, but like
one day somebody goes, what are we doing here? I've had that happen with like 3 or 4 of them.
Wait, you're just like, hey,
I'm just kidding.
Delete my number from your phone, please.
No, but I will say, another form of group text that's strange, that often dies, and good riddance, the random sort of like, it's like you're comfortable in a group text with your best friends. You're comfortable in a group text with your family. You're comfortable in a group text with close coworkers. But when it's like a couple of degrees removed people, one other guy whose number you didn't have, and then one other person, you know what I'm saying?
A group text that starts off with a number you don't have in your phone at the time
is
it's a failed group text.
It's the nightmare.
Unless like it's one of those things where you
can't ask.
No.
You can't go, hey, who's 713827? Because then it's like, then Gary's like, oh, what's up, Ross? You didn't have my number?
I'm in a bachelor party group text right now.
Didn't save my number? We've hung out lots of times.
I don't have like 5 of the numbers. 0% chance I ever ask for them. I ever get them.
Nope.
I ever want to have them.
It's a man thing. It's like we don't ask for the map in the car 20 years ago. Now we have our ways.
Yeah.
We don't ask for the names of unknown numbers in the group text. I have held multiple weak text conversations, not even in a group text. One individual texts me without I don't know whose number it is, don't have their name in my phone. I don't ask. I don't care. I just have the conversation.
Okay.
I would rather have the conversation with not knowing who it is than have to ask.
Nothing gives me more anxiety than when somebody is like on their laptop in front of me, like maybe we're looking at something on their laptop, and they go to their iMessages on their laptop, and it's every single contact is just numbers. Like, do you know who does
this?
this?
That's also a laptop
Dan Jester
problem.
does this.
I believe this is a Mac laptop issue.
Yeah,
It doesn't put
20
your
minutes.
names though.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
It takes 20 minutes to fix this problem.
Oh, okay.
It takes 20
so
minutes.
you do know how to fix it.
Yes, I've had to fix it because I was looking at it. I'm
You
like,
want to
oh
know
my
something
god.
about me?
You
Fuck all that. Texting, phone shit on the computer. No. Phones are phones. Computers are computers. You keep your goddamn dirty text messages off my computer. Distracting as shit, man. The internet's not a distracting place enough already. I'm over here looking at fucking Thursday lines. I need text messages popping up on this shit. No.
Well, you're anti-iMessage on the laptop?
I'm anti every single form of communication that is not email on a computer. No FaceTiming, no whatever else the kids do.
AIM.
Skype. There's the word I was looking for. No Skyping. No, I'm just kidding. You can Skype. That's fine. It's for business.
Twitch?
You can Twitch.
Okay, just making sure.
You can Twitch.
Just making sure that you
Where
were
are
okay
we?
with that.
Okay, last segment. This will be quick. Don't give up. It is important, but it will be quick. And it is also a serious segment. I often hear stories like this one about communities pulling together to try to raise awareness when suicide plagues their people. And this one was DM'd to me by a listener over the weekend when I was clearly feeling down. It's uplifting, so it's serious, but it's positive. It's a story from Webster Groves, Missouri, and this coverage is from KSDK, where I got my my info here. Starts out, if you've never driven through Webster Groves, Kirkwood area, you may have noticed white yard signs with simple messages messages of encouragement popping up in people's yards. The signs have things written on them like, don't give up and one day at a time, which are concepts we've discussed, obviously. It turns out these signs are part of a movement that was started by a family in Oregon 3 years ago. The family learned their small town had a big problem with suicide and they wanted to do something about it. Amy Wolf and her husband, along with their 2 kids, made yard signs with inspirational messages on them. They planted them throughout their neighborhood. The gesture took off and it became a global movement. Marsha Lang saw the signs in her Webster Groves neighborhood and felt the need to spread the kindness. Lang said, so many people have the sense of helplessness and hopelessness, and I had that myself a year and a half ago. I realized, wow, that would have spoken deeply to me at the moment. Just simple words, don't give up. This is just somebody they're interviewing in the neighborhood who purchased the signs. And there's also wristbands and stickers on this movement's website. Apparently, you can go to don'tgiveupsigns.com. It's a nonprofit. All the money from the purchases goes back into making the products.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
The profits. No, this is a really cool thing, and it's very much like on message, on brand with everything that we do and communicate here, and especially with the RBP Impact Initiative that we try to communicate to everybody that you're not alone. With addiction and with depression and mental health stuff, you do have to take it one day at a time, and you can obviously never give the fuck up. So I'm all for this shit. Like the little story and wanted to share it. And that's that. Nothing else to really say about it. Don'tgiveupsigns.com, again,
It's a good story.
was that website. Very uplifting. Serious, but positive. Before you head out to take on the world, time for some very important announcements. First and foremost, you've been saddled with 3 legal
That's more than normal.
obligations
That's more than normal.
as a result of having listened to this entire podcast. First and foremost, you must rate and review, whether you listen on Spotify or SoundCloud or watch on youtube.com/Bolen Media. We'd very much appreciate it if you would take the time to rate and review our show, the Ross Bolen Podcast, specifically on Apple Podcasts. That's just the place that it makes the biggest difference to us. 5 stars, 2 or 3 sentences about why you love the show, and that'll do it all the way. By the way, while we're here, before I forget, let me see if in the time we have been recording, we reached the 1,000 subscriber mark on our YouTube page. It is entirely possible. We're 5 short, son of a bitch. So close. You watch every full episode of new RBP and OCC and FAMP.
Think about this. If only 4 more of you do it, we'll be 1 away.
That's very true.
And then you can be the 1,000th.
Quick math. And what we need is everyone trying to be the 1,000th and unsubscribing and resubscribing a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, so rate and review on Apple Podcasts. That's your first legal obligation. You can check that box and move on to number 2, which is to tell one person, a friend, a family member, a coworker, a neighbor, any one individual you can think of that you believe there's a chance this person may enjoy the Ross Bolen Podcast. Share the show with them. Tell them about it. And that's your second legal ob. You can check that box and move on to the new one, your third new legal obligation. You must use our sponsor codes.
Yes.
Thanks to Liquid IV and Quip for supporting this episode. LiquidIV.com, code RBP. Also getquip.com/RBP. If I see you using a toothbrush and it's not a Quip, you know what that means, baby.
He's going to rip it out of your hands.
I'm coming for that ass. I'm coming for that ass, Larry. Follow us on Instagram at the Ross Bolen Podcast, on Twitter at Ross Bolen Pod. We're also on Facebook somewhere if you're the middle-aged aunt of one of our listeners. You can follow me, Ross Bolen, on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at WRBolen, at WRBOLEN. That is my handle. I'm also on, did I say twitch.tv/BossRollin? Nope, but I am now. Twitch.tv/BossRollin. And if you're wondering, oh my God, why aren't y'all streaming live the episodes lately? We're trying to reach partner status on Twitch. And to do that, we got to be at 75 average viewers. And when we do the podcast live on Twitch, it's driving down that number. So until we reach partnership, we're going to be doing only the video game streams on there, as that's typically what Twitch is for, and gets bigger numbers. Then once we've reached partner, we can bring back in the old live format of the shows. And maybe here or there we'll do an episode. We'll see. But anyway, hopefully sooner rather than later. Jared, where can everybody follow you and hear more of your voice?
Well, get this. Number 1. Ross and I do a Westworld podcast called Freeze on Motor Functions that is under the Bolen Media podcast umbrella.
It's true.
We're about to record it right after this, actually. And it is the best Westworld podcast in the world. It is the funniest. It's the only one that's funny. Every other one is not funny, actually. They stink and they're stupid and they're dumb.
Smell, too.
They smell. You smell it through the headphones. It's smell-o-vision, but podcast. They stink. We're great. We're funny. We're the number 1 rated on Apple Podcasts. Number 1 rated Westworld podcast. Pretty awesome. If you've never seen Westworld, guess what? We have a podcast for every single episode of Westworld without spoilers. It means you can listen to the episode 1, season 1 recap that Ross and I did, and it spoils none of the following episodes.
Now, let me tell you why that matters. Season 3 of Westworld is coming in March. Jared and I are going to be doing coverage of every single episode of that, obviously, so you can go back and watch Westworld now if you never did, and then listen to our recap podcast on Freeze on Motor Functions.
Yep.
Huge. You'll understand everything. Most of the episodes are set up to where basically Jared watches the show, then he watches the show again, and he takes a substantial amount of notes for hours deep into the night by candlelight. And then we show up to the studio, and I have watched the episode only once and probably half-baked and barely awake. And so I asked Jared, what the fuck was that? And then he explains it to me for an hour and a half, and then everybody leaves laughing and so educated. That's Freeze on Motor Functions.
And we also don't use Reddit because we're not chumps, okay?
And meaning we don't dive into the internet and try to find theories or whatever that way. We do it off the top.
We do it with us, with the listeners. It's great.
Which I feel like we don't even have to say that anymore, dude.
Yeah,
like
we
it
don't.
just is what it is.
Freeze on Motor Functions. You can also follow me. Guess what? Special. I'm not going to give my Twitter handle out. It's at Jared Boris. You're going to have to find out the rest for yourself. And if you do, shoot me a DM and say, Jared, I found the code.
Wow.
And I'll respond to you with a GIF.
Don't do it.
Do it.
Please.
Do it.
The more times that you guys encourage this behavior, the more it'll stay.
And I'm going to read every new follower I got this week. I don't actually have that. That would be terrifying.
I still can't believe that we allowed that to even occur.
And you can end the show now if you want. I don't care.
Check out Bolen Media's television and film podcast, Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, available wherever RBP and FAMF are available. That will do it for RBP 266, recorded and produced by Mike Moody and Grant Davis at Permanent Record Studios in Austin, Texas. That's what Mike wants, for you to yell over me reading his business. That will do it for RBP 266, recorded and produced by Mike Moody and Grant Davis at Permanent Record Studios in Austin, Texas. We'll be back Thursday evening. That's tomorrow. With episode 266. Wait, that's
not right.
That was today. 267. RBP 267 coming Thursday night. Podman gets paid. Respect, Mr. Park. Strength and honor. Gang, gang, gang. Peace be with you. And also with you.
baby.